I hate helicopters. Helicopters are cancer. I hate them all. Kill them all. DTTC. Death to the chopper. That's actually a clan founded in my name. And to be honest, I stand by that when it comes to tank realistic battles. However, today we're having a look at arcade battles enduring confrontation, and I'll show you how I defeat the K50 problem. Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Are you surprised seeing this video, me flying a helicopter? Yes, up until like a week ago I wouldn't have thought about making a video about helicopters in general and this helicopter in particular myself. However, I was just hanging out and chilling, doing my grinding business as usual with tanks and planes and also ships, and then I watched a friend of mine, streaming this on Discord, where he tried to play helicopters himself, and he didn't play the premium ones, but rather, the low tier ones, the tech tree ones, and it was a horrible experience for him. And yeah, that I kind of understand. So introducing here this helicopter, which is fantastic. However, also in the wrong position, in the wrong situation, also succumbing. And before we go into the nitty little greedy details, watch this. I launch on a burning K50 an air-to-air missile that hits and he doesn't die and only get a kill assist. K50s are the big problem. I'm not gonna really talk about K50s too much here, since I haven't played them, and don't take this wrongly. I am just tipping my toes into this game mode, into playing helicopters. So the more experienced amongst you will certainly point out mistakes in the handling of the helicopter, target prioritization and positioning. But a general rule is the team with the more competent K50s wins big time. And as you can see here with the tickets, we're about to lose, and I'm just trying to farm something to get some activity into my pocket, because I'm grinding here after all, but I also wanted to experience what it's like to play this. And there are a few great things about helicopter enduring confrontation arcade, but there are also certain things that are not that great. So for example, here this bug, it doesn't show me the results, so I have to go into the battles to then see the income. For a loss, 81,000 civil lines and less than 30k RP. Well, let's introduce City, the city map, probably the best helicopter map, and this is an amazing gun run. It shows the huge potential of this helicopter, and also when the enemy teams K50s are distracted, and when they are bloodthirsty and tunnel visioning, and where you have a few minutes for yourself. Roughly, what is it, 7 minutes to be precise? Yeah, you'll see. So this helicopter is fantastic because it has a lot of firepower for a very long time. The loader that I'm using has the default 30mm M230E1 with an amazing 1200 rounds of the dual purpose HEDP, high explosive dual purpose ammunition. Mass velocity 850 meters per second, 805 meters per second, sorry, and it is a little 30mm heat shell with 51 millimeters of penetration at any distance. That is fantastic. However, it has huge dispersion, it's rather inaccurate. However, 1200 rounds are quite a serious thing. And I know that I promised you to show how I will bypass the K50 problem. Give me a few minutes, right? So then what else is there? Well, we have 16 Hellfire missiles, and they have quite the impressive bang. We also have 4 air-to-air missiles of the AIM-92 Stinger variant. They're not that great, and also I don't know what, but they just don't have the boom. They only have half a kilogram of TNT equivalent bursting mass. That is not great, and very often you hit K50s, you crit them, but they don't go down. You need more than that, and then they flare. You also have flares, by the way, but that's not the point. K50s are just the better helicopter when it comes to a straight up fight. no matter what you try, no matter what you do, at the end they'll get you. You might kill one or two, but they just respawn and they just launch all the missiles at you, laser guided and whatnot. However, this helicopter, I wanted to share you what you can do when you do the ground pounding thing. Now, that has multiple advantages. First of all, it's chill, it's cool, it's kind of relaxing, right? So I dare to say it's kind of fun if you are just in the mood for it. And it also brings you a lot of civilians and RP, and that on a regular, reliable basis, especially on this map if you sneak to the side. More about this in just a moment, because there is one little trick that you need to do, and then you just also drain the enemy's tickets, and you can use the Hellfires, 7 of them to be precise, to level a bombing point, which costs the enemy team 300 tickets. And if you do this multiple times, you know, that will add up. Just like with the ground units, I think they cost 30 score points, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's actually worth it. And there you can see we blasted through half of our ammunition. You know, we're down to 625 cannon rounds and 9 Hellfires, and I'm not done yet. So if you're bored by this, this is sadly the way to go. I watched a friend of mine, as I said, and he is really experienced with playing helicopters. He plays practically them all: the Russians, the Americans, the Italians, the Germans, and some of are just better than others. And the starter helicopters are just pure sadness. They are slow, they have no firepower, and the firepower that they have with the 7.92 machine guns, Gatlings, whatever, and the manually guided missiles or anti-tank or ATGMs rather, they only have 4 or 6 of them. They are just pure sadness, right? This one actually is fun. Now, I do not recommend you buying helicopters, because if you experience, or if you expect to have fun, it's a gaijin game mode. It's not fun. You can only find pleasure in having less pain. That's just like it. I'm not ranting here. I'm not sharing with you all the negative examples where we were locked down on our helipad because KF-50 was spawn camping. I'm not showing you that an entire team of KF-50s just steamrolled us and we couldn't literally take off. As soon as the spawn protection run out, we were already dead because the missiles were in the air. And your pity anti-helicopter weapons, either they didn't have the range, or they didn't hit, or when they hit, like the air-to-air missiles, if the KF-50 didn't flare, because usually they have automatic flaring on, it's just a big mess. And the Hellfires are rather slow. So I'm not sharing that with you. Rather, again, I show you what damage you can cause by farming the ground units, and which will look really cool. Now, when helicopters were announced, people probably were expecting this to happen, right? You're flying, you're gunning down enemy AI units or players, and it just looks spectacularly cool, right? That's it. And again, we destroy the convoy and we're draining enemy tickets quite substantially, and that is fun, effective, and reliable, and also gets you a good income. So not the most amazing gameplay where I shred all the K50s, etc., because you don't fight K50s, you go out of their way. And there are many other issues when it comes to how often you get city with the player room, where you assemble to then go into one of those matches. Because if you bail out of one of those matches because the enemy team has the advantage and you want to go into another room, for me at least, the matchmaker was like, nah bro, you're going right back into this, there is no escape for you, and you then have to literally suffer for another hour till the match is done. But here again, this was one of the lucky incidences. So far I had this like 2 times and it was fantastic, where I just simply could harvest in the background. Now, I told you a little bit about a dirty secret, a little trick that you have to do to get into this position. Flanking is a thing, yes I know, but that's not really what you can do. You see, on this city map, if you start from the north, there is the Western Peninsula, and this Western Peninsula is still divided into the blue area and the red area. You want to go to the red area to farm all the ground units, to bomb the bases, etc., or to ATGM the bases, whatever. You must not engage there at the start, so that the enemy team actually gets the entire peninsula, and then the entire peninsula is full of enemy ground units. And then there is no real reason for enemy helicopters to spawn there. And then you make a sneaky crossing of the ocean, and then you just go there and farm all the ground units. And then you go deep into behind enemy lines, so to speak. And with this helicopter you have the endurance, you have the firepower to do all this. And yes, it also has thermal imaging, and this is cool and all, how you mark targets, etc. But all this is kind of sadly irrelevant again when you fight Ka-50s, where you don't even have the time to spool up the air-to-air missile. So we are very low on ammunition now, 43 rounds left, and I have not really that much stuff left, right? So I want to now bring the last of the firepower to bear. We get one tank with the Hellfire, sadly not the 3 as they were really close together. We're out of ammunition, the last Hellfire doesn't kill the tank, and we're down to only 34 rounds of 30mm and 4 air-to-air missiles. And now I'm going back to the fighting, to the front line, so to speak, and I want to shoot at them from behind. But the second I launch it from the rear, this guy does the automatic flaring, he dodges, and yeah, we actually get him with the last few rounds of ammunition, which, if you lock them on like that, is amazing. There are some other helicopters, and watch this. If I had some ammunition left, the air-to-air missile gets launched, come on. No, it doesn't. And he prematurely flares like a boss, and I get killed. And oh well, that's the end of me. So this is right at the end of the gameplay. I still get laser warning very much close to the sea, just be above the water like a few meters, and I still get yoinked by a Ka-50, and yeah, that's the end of the match. Let's have a look at those post-battle results. Come on, show me. Yes, that was quite the income, and again we get the same bug. So that is quite something. And here we can see 272,000 civilians without a booster and nearly 50,000 RP. The best result I got so far was 71,000 RP. So that was also on City. So City is the best map to go around the Ka-50 slaughter. You just don't fight them, and then you can do something. However, there are many problems, and I don't share all of them with you now in this video. It was just, you know, to tip my toes into the fight, into the game mode, to see what it's like. I still don't like helicopters in tank RP, don't get me wrong. Still, death to helicopters when it comes to tank RP. But also the Ka-50 forces players out of this game mode into tank RP, where they can then have a battle rating separation. But because here, all the helicopters fight all the helicopters. So with your starter helicopter, you fight Ka-50s. This is the pure essence of balancing failure, and shows how incompetent and how uninterested the devs of Gaijin are when it comes to helicopters. And well, we will see how the new promised helicopter game mode will work out. We will see, because if the Ka-50 then still is free terrain, nothing will change. And that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this video. You want to see some more helicopter gameplay, and as usual, we will see each other on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.